Hello, everyone. Welcome to Screen Syndicates. Today, we are breaking down Invincible. This is our first pod. Welcome for
Yes,
the
sir.
6 viewers we'll have, but it's going to be more eventually, hopefully. But today, breakdown is we're going to start with this is me and Pete have been friends our whole life, and we've always wanted to talk movies. So we connected recently, and we both watched Invincible. Thought this was a great time. Crazy
Absolutely.
thing is, we don't know each other's thoughts. So I'm about to find out what Peyton thinks. He's going to find out what I think of just overall Invincible. We're going to start with that. Then we're going to break down our spoiler free, give a score 1 to 10, give a little bit of thoughts spoiler free. Then we're going to get into all the detailed spoilers of this new season, season four. We're going to talk about our favorite moments, and then we're going to wrap up the episode with our top five favorite Invincible characters.
I'm
So
excited for
glad
that
to have
part.
you here.
Yes, sir.
Peyton,
Glad to
how
be
you
here.
doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to actually talk about Invincible because we've held off talking about Invincible for the past 2 weeks. And I just
Yeah.
started, it was like a crazy time for me to start watching Invincible because I started watching it like 2 weeks ago, even though I was told to watch it forever ago when it first came out. But I finally started watching it, and it was no better time to just hop right into season four. But I can't wait to pick your brain about it because it's been killing me not to talk to you about anything from
Yeah.
season one to season four, 3 episodes in.
I think something that's also going to be interesting is different perspective from someone who binged it versus I've been watching it right when it came out. So
That's
it's going to
true.
be interesting. I feel like binging it, you're just so locked in. Where the week to week, though, you're watching some videos, theories. But let's get into it. So,
Let's
what are
do
your
it.
thoughts on Invincible?
I think it's phenomenal. I can't believe I waited this long to watch it. It was, I don't know, it's something I didn't expect to like as much as I do. And now I think like I
Mhm.
can't believe I didn't watch it when it first came out. I am very glad I got to binge it because it would have been so tough on a lot of these seasons to end on the finales because there's so many
Yeah.
cliffhangers, or even every episode I feel like has a cliffhanger right at the end because they almost do like that end credit
Mhm.
scene of every episode. So it would have been really tough not to or wait another week or another year or two whenever the next episode or season came out. So I'm glad I got to sit down and binge it. Been a phenomenal show. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah. I kind of came out when superheroes were at its peak, and I remember I saw the last scene of the first episode on TikTok or something, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa!" I haven't seen really much rated R. I'm not an anime guy at all,
No, me either.
so and seeing like it looked like the Justice League get murdered, and I'm like, "All right, let me check this out." Watched the first episode, and was hooked ever since, and then the fact, me and you have a big tie to The Walking Dead.
Oh,
A little
absolutely.
backstory on that is we used to every morning, Monday morning in school, we'd meet up in the hallways, had to recap the Walking Dead episodes, kind of like what we're doing now. We just
Yeah.
did it back in
We
school,
didn't do any
and every
microphones or
time,
webcams.
yeah, just classic old school. Meet up in the hall and talk, and once the bell rings, you got to get that combo out. Or you got to get to class, but all the Walking Dead characters that just pop up throughout the show. Obviously, Robert Kirkman wrote this.
Yeah.
So it's a cool tie because every time I hear a voice, I'm like, that sounds familiar. This happened in season four. I'm not sure if you picked up on it. There was one in particular.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I'm not
Mm,
100% sure, but I think I know what you're talking about. And I just got to say
yeah.
that
Well,
I'm a huge fan of Stephen Young a lot more in this show than The Walking Dead. He's a great actor in The Walking
mhm.
Dead. I just think he's phenomenal and Invincible. Just voice acting, obviously, but I think he does a really good job.
I completely agree. He actually adds a ton to the character. And then I love the moment in season three at the last episode versus Conquest. But like you get that Jeffrey Dean Morgan Negan versus him, and he's like pounding him on the head, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of like a full circle. They definitely loved making that.
Oh, 100%. They must have been like, I bet Stephen Young was happy. Negan, or the voice, I don't know his name. That's the voice actor for Negan and plays Negan in The Walking Dead. Um,
Jeffrey Dean
but
Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It must have been like surreal for
Yep.
their roles to be reversed in that final
Yeah.
battle at the end of season three.
100%. He was great. So, because we don't want to get too deep into it, but if you said Invincible favorite moment from the first three seasons. What stands out to you?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I feel like it has to be one of the last two episodes of season three. It's just like all hell is breaking loose essentially, and you can kind of just like feel for Mark or Invincible in a sense of
Hmm.
like everything's just not going his way. Everything that he loves is feels like it's falling apart or getting damaged. I think the like when all the other Invincibles come from the multiverse or from all these different universes or dimensions and they come in, I think that's like my favorite episode. It's just crazy to see them fighting all the other superheroes. And then obviously the tragic Rex death. I thought that was like a really cool way to go for him. Very fitting for him.
Yeah. I remember when I was watching, I just couldn't believe I'm like, this guy can't catch a break. Like it's just like
Yeah.
the next thing after the next thing is just beat up.
No,
But
and he takes a
I'd say
beating
for
every time.
every time. For me, my standout is the end of season one. That's my favorite moment because I just remember being so shell shocked, like the plot twist, and like it hints at it before, but just him and Mark and Nolan just going back and forth, and then all the people dying. That's when I got like fully, fully invested in the
Oh,
show.
100%. Because I feel like season one does a great job at hooking you throughout the whole season, and then makes you really
Mhm.
want to come back for more. Just season one, or yeah, season one, episode one was what got me hooked to the show. Because everybody, my
Yeah,
brother told me to watch it. Everybody's told me to watch it. I'm like, all right, let me throw on episode one. And it's like at the end of episode one, how could you not watch episode two and just keep going? Like it's how could
yeah,
you just stop at that?
100%. And season one, so for me, if I have a ranking, I probably go season one is my favorite. Season three is my second favorite, and I put season two last. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a really good rank. I think mine's really just reversed, where I would go season three
One
number
and
one,
three.
and then one number two, and then two is in last place for me.
Yeah,
Still a great season, just not obviously as impactful as season one or three, but I think you need season two.
100%. 100%. I felt the lack of Omni-Man in season two was a big hit.
Yeah,
Because I find him to be the most just intriguing character of the show.
100%. I'm right there with you. Just because it's like, how could he do this? And then obviously you get glimpses of him like having a heart and being more to like the human side of things. So it's like really cool to see
Mhm.
his character development. And obviously, like you said, you don't get a lot of that in season two.
Yeah. How have you done avoiding? So obviously it's based off a comic book.
Yep.
Do you know any future? Have you seen any stuff like that on the internet of storylines where they're going to go in the future?
No, I actually feel like I've been priding myself in doing a great job of staying away from that, especially up till now.
Hmm.
It's going to be tough. I feel like from now moving forward, not to, just because obviously I knew I could watch it first because I could binge season one through three, and then four was coming out a week later. So I didn't want to
Yeah.
spoil anything. I wanted to be just like completely immersed, have no idea of this universe, and just be like surprised at everything. Because I remember doing that for The
Yep.
Walking Dead. We did that. We read the comics and we kind of knew what to expect going forward in the show. Obviously, they twist and turn stuff around and change some things, but you have a general idea of where the show's going. It felt so cool
Hmm.
to not have any idea. Or even with Marvel, I feel like starting from Avengers 1, you kind of knew where it was going to go later on.
Yep.
Obviously, it's cool to see exactly how they do it, and that's always exciting. But I feel like it was completely different sitting there and like having no clue what's going to happen next, and it's gonna be tough not to do it. I might look at the comic books. It's really intriguing me to read it.
Yeah. I have the only thing I know is certain characters like the big bad. But the thing I was shocked by, I haven't really seen any spoilers. The only thing I was shocked by was someone explained, I don't know if this was after season one or season two, that all the material we've gotten is like this much of the comic books that are out.
Really?
And I was like, I was really surprised by that. Um, but we'll see. Obviously, the TV medium is different because the thing I didn't want to know because every time I watch an episode, the mythology of just the whole show of the Viltrumites and like all that super intriguing to me. uh, and
Absolutely.
just all the different. So it is nice. I have no idea where the show's gonna go.
Yeah, that's exciting because that's what I was gonna ask you because I know you're typically like doing your research and like reading the comic
Yep.
books and kind of having an idea where it's gonna go. So that's got to be
Hmm.
a little tricky, not
Yeah, it
exactly knowing
is.
what's to come.
I've definitely changed on that where I used to do that a lot. Like I read all the Walking Dead. I would start reading Marvel comics and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But I find it better not knowing. Because you're just a viewer who everything's fresh to you, and I really like that. But on the other side, when you do kind of know, you do appreciate some things a lot more. You're like, oh, I see this where it's going.
That's true.
So there's pros and cons to each.
No, 100%. Because one thing it's funny you say this because I was actually at the mall, I think it was 2 days ago, and I stopped at this bookstore just to see if they had Invincible comic books. Just because
Mhm.
now that I'm watching it, I'm more into it. And I looked and I didn't realize how many there actually are. So I'm like, oh my God, how can
Yeah.
they keep this going? Because I remember at that, like, season two or season three, I'm like, how much longer could it go? But it's
Hmm.
like crazy because I know they're still planning. I think they said like 7 seasons or something like that at least is what they're planning for, maybe more.
Hmm. That makes sense. That's we'll get into it. Actually, we'll start getting into it now because now we'll
Let's do
tie it
it.
all together, especially when we get into spoilers. Um, but watched dropped 3 episodes, season 4, all pretty longer episodes than I know some like sometimes they're like 40 minutes. These ones were all in the 50s.
Yep.
But right now, after watching the three, score 10 and some thoughts, spoiler free.
Okay. I'm gonna go 7.5.
Okay.
Where are you at?
I'm at 7.
Okay, that's fair. We're both on the same
Yeah.
page then there.
Yeah. We're both around the same page. I think my overall feelings were I liked it, didn't love it.
Yeah.
Um, my big criticism is it just feels like a lot of repeat things that I've already seen, and it's just rehashing it again.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like that's a common theme with this show. I feel like it's just some characters just constantly come back.
Yeah, no, you
Um,
can't get rid of them.
yeah, 100%. And for me, there was a clear cut episode 2. Absolutely loved it.
Yes.
Absolutely loved that one. That one really stuck out. The rest, uh, first one I didn't love. The third one was not bad, but that's my general feeling. Around a 7, good, liked it, enjoyed it, understand where it's going, but for 3 episodes wasn't all time great or have to tell someone about it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel like I'm right there with you. Think obviously episode 2 was definitely a standout. And I feel like they were trying to do something completely different. I don't know if we've seen a episode that's been like that yet. But
Hmm.
yes, episode 1 and 3, I think they're good. I think episode 3 is definitely better than 1, but like I was just excited to see where the storyline was going to go after how it ended, obviously with Conquest in the end, and then Cecil making the
Yep.
decision to keep him alive without Mark
Hmm.
knowing. I was just really interested in seeing where that was going to go.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I understood um before what Cecil's plan was, but they never really got into it because
Yeah,
it just never made sense to me.
in the spoiler talk, I got something to say on this. I just got to make sure I remember because Cecil said something and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But that my big criticism would be repeat stuff, and then the show's done it for a while, and it's just a every show kind of does this, but this show has so many characters that some I especially I just don't really care about, and when they're on screen, I just found myself less interested. I'm like, can we get back to these other storylines? So
Yeah.
that's just something it deals with. And I feel like every season that drops, it's usually the first couple episodes, I think I always feel this way. So it's not too surprising. I have faith it's going to all tie together to the bigger storyline, which I really want. But
Yeah.
those would be my big criticisms.
I feel like one thing I want to point out that I really liked was the beginning of episode 1. Just like how it starts and kind of brings you back into like Mark's life and just the Invincible universe. I feel like it's just a really cool
Hmm.
start and just like gets you kind of
I
immersed into the universe again.
I agree with that. I was a little confused on how much time passed at first. I
Hmm.
feel like I kind of got into it, but I wasn't sure. Like, but because he had bandages and stuff like robot mechanics,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But it was a great way. I felt like I was right back in right after that intro.
Yeah, because I feel like that helps out with somebody that wasn't like myself and didn't binge it and was watching it as it comes out. Because who knows what you've done
Hmm.
in the past year? How much have you actually watched Invincible since season 3 dropped? And then it like kind of puts you back in, or like where do we leave off? And then just does a really good job of putting you back in that universe and kind of what's going on in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And before I watch a new season of any show, I'm one of those guys who watches like a 30-minute recap video of all like the seasons before.
Oh
Because I
yeah,
hate starting something and feeling lost.
100%, especially when you're talking about season 4 where you're already in the mix.
Yeah, 100%. The last thing I wanted to get into before we get into spoilers was we hinted at this when we were setting this up.
Uh huh.
What are your thoughts on the animation style of this show?
I know it gets a lot of criticism. This is weird because one of my favorite like animated series ever, there's probably two that come to mind. One is Avatar The Last Airbender, just growing up with that as a kid. It's it might be even a little bit better than this, but it reminds me similar, like just the animation. I know it's not the greatest, especially for 2026, but I also it
Mhm.
reminds me of like I don't know if you've ever seen the animated Spider-Man from like I think it's late 90s, early 2000s. I forget exactly what it's called, but it was like one of my favorite cartoons or animated series ever growing up. And it reminds me a lot of that,
Mhm.
especially with how many villains and superheroes there are. So I'm actually more of a fan of it just because it's more nostalgic for me, I feel like. Where are you at with it?
Gotcha. At first, I hated it. I did not like. There was still like certain things where like characters would be talking and their mouth would match, or like if you see in certain shots, you could tell certain people are just still frames.
Yeah,
And I get it. Animation. When I think about making an animation project, that's like absolute hell. But
yeah,
I feel over the last 4 years, it's gotten better and better. I feel like they're adding like a little CGI. Like there was a couple like spaceship shots where I'm like that. It
uh huh.
looks different, but I feel the voice is a lot better now. So I've grown to actually like it, and I love how graphic it is as well.
Yeah, that was a really cool thing for me too, because I don't think I've ever watched an animated show or movie or anything that was as gory as Invincible is. And we obviously know where
Mhm.
all their money went when they're shooting this. It's right to the voice actors because they have an
Yeah,
insane lineup of voice actors for this animation.
absolutely. So with that, we are going to go into spoilers for season 4, episode 1 through 3. So if you didn't watch, tune out now. If you're seeing this clip on social media, welcome. This is our spoiler talk.
Yes, sir.
So starting out with episode 1, I
Hmm.
felt there was a lot going on. There's just a bunch of characters, all those things. My biggest criticism, two things, where I'm tired of those aliens, the little suction cup aliens.
Yeah, dude, they've been
I, I've had
overdoing those.
I've had enough of those.
What are they
Yeah,
called? I can't think of what they're called. Should know they've been in it. Seems like in every episode.
yeah. No, they. I feel like that storyline's dragged out.
And I thought you were gonna say another one. We're just gonna hop. I just got to mention this part of episode 3 where they bring back those other aliens, where it
Yes,
feels like I'm
that's
watching
the
this
another criticism.
the same fight from I think it was season 1, just with different Guardians of the Globe, like same exact streets fight setup with the portals, just different
And
characters.
in season 1, did it like 3 or 4 times because they kept coming back with like
Oh,
upgrades.
yeah, true. Yeah, so it's maybe like the fourth or fifth episode that they've been in the same setup. It's not even like they come from a portal from the sky. It's like same street. They all come out.
Yeah.
Cop cars are parked, and everybody's up behind the car. It's like the
Yeah.
same exact scene every time.
100%. And literally that like that's when I was watching. I'm like, all right, seen this, been there, done that.
Yeah,
I,
100%.
I'm not that intrigued. The only thing, obviously, I feel like we're just gonna be a little bit all over the place talking about all 3 episodes. They kind of all blend together.
Yeah,
We'll go
for
through
sure.
it.
Definitely one
But
and three do for sure.
yeah, yeah. So I guess we'll go back to that because end
Hmm.
with talking about where we think they're gonna go from there. First episode, the those alien things I'm tired of. They come back. Or I think is it all episode one? They all blend together. But the
Hmm.
lack of Omni Man, I felt like obviously he's not the main character anymore,
Yeah,
but that storyline is what I really care about. Omni Man, Alan, and the big war. That's what I care about. I don't
yeah,
really care about the Guardians side quest, little missions against the villain of the week,
yeah.
personally.
That's exactly what it feels like because it feels like they're just kind of doing these fillers, and it all feels like stuff you've seen before. Of hey,
Hmm.
there's this guy robbing a bank, or he's just causing mayhem in the town. Mark's got to go out there
Hmm.
and save him. Somehow, still gets always beat up though. Every time this guy's insanely strong, but he doesn't not leave a fight, not beat up.
Yeah, he's supposed to beat the Viltrumites, and he's getting beat up by the regular like street
He's
guy.
got heart, but he gets beat up every
Yeah.
time, no matter who it is. If it's Joe Schmo or the Viltrumites, he's still taking a little bit of a beating. He comes out on top for granted every time, for the most
Yeah,
part, but he always does take a beating. And you're so right with it's just the same kind of stuff that we've seen before, and it doesn't feel like it's tying into this huge thing that we know is inevitably coming.
100%. Like with the aliens, again, I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but I'm like in my head, I'm like they've gotten so much screen time that they could do something later on, like they use it in the war somehow, or but I don't know. I just don't. Whenever they're on screen, I'm like I don't care because I don't even find the fights interesting to watch.
No, it's like just like I feel like it's just kind of filler action stuff of like get to
Yeah,
see blood and gore and some fighting, but not really any depth with the characters or anything like that.
yeah, I agree. The My favorite part of episode one was I do like Mark's storyline. I really I'm a Batman fan, clearly. Like that's
Yeah,
it's my favorite superhero, and Spider-Man's in my top five or probably top three. And there are obviously like no killing, that type of thing. But sometimes for superheroes, dilemma I always never understood. I get the moral dilemma and like it does make it super interesting. But if Batman kills Joker, he saves a ton of lives. But
yeah,
instead he keeps him in. He'll break out of Arkham a month later, kill 100 people, blah, blah, blah. So I do like how they're really diving into that with Mark, where he sometimes feels that killing is necessary. And I kind of agree with at least that character.
100%. Like I now that you say that, it's funny because I think one of my it's for a segment later, but like just seeing Mark's like journey and like these internal battles, because I could only imagine as like a 20-year-old kid that has all this responsibility, and you're talking about it's the GDP in that universe is like the government.
Yeah, yeah.
So
When you
like
said that, I thought you were talking about the economy at first, but yeah,
yeah,
keep
yeah,
going.
no, that's why I felt weird saying it. I was like, am I saying the right thing? But like just obviously they have like a certain way they want to do things, and Mark's like watching his family pretty much get destroyed, and everything he loves is falling apart. So I think they did a great job of like developing Mark in episode one. I really enjoyed that.
100%. I agree. You pick up on the Walking Dead actor in episode one?
Ooh, in episode one, I don't think I did actually.
So the lady with the staff, do you
Uh-huh.
recognize her voice?
Was it Michonne?
It was
Like,
Michonne.
no way. I didn't actually even
Yeah,
put that together.
yeah. Well, did you just guess Michonne because it was a lady with a staff?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
And like the hair, I feel
yeah,
like it's kind of like dreads, like Michonne has.
yeah. When I heard her say something, I was like, "Damn, that sounds familiar." And have you used like the X-ray feature on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I actually use it a lot. I feel like to just look and see.
So do I. Exactly, especially in this show. There's a million voices. You're like, "Oh, who is that?"
Yeah.
So that was a fun little pull because I'm like, I recognize it. Walking Dead, it clicked. And then the last thing I want to talk about with episode one was a great post credit scene. So I want to hear your thoughts on the conquest thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy because this is one thing that I was kind of upset with because Cecil at the end of season 3 says like if he moves an inch, this whole thing is gonna explode and then like nothing
You're
happened.
right. Did
He
he say there was
just
a nuke?
yeah, he said some crazy stuff is gonna happen if he moves an inch, but like he's obviously shaking the ground, so he's trying to get out and then just gets out, nothing happens, and he's just gone. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
the whole thing of him calming down Donald and Mark was or no, he didn't even tell Mark was calming down Donald of it. Don't worry, if Donald, if he moves an inch, this whole place is gonna explode. And nope, he's just gonna fly away, and that's it.
Yeah, there's no run. He's gonna heal up and give him a nice spot to heal. Just gonna go home.
Yeah, that kind of drove me nuts. But I'm super
Yeah.
excited to see like what they're gonna do. Because I know what is his name, Thaddeus or something like that. Is that
Thaddeus or
Thaddeus?
Thrag, the big villain.
Yeah, who am I? I'm thinking of the dude that's with Alan's group. I think the other
Ah,
Viltrumite.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm excited to see. I've heard some stuff that he's obviously super prominent in the comics, I believe. I could be misspoken, but I want to say
Hmm.
heard that. And I think it's going to be crazy. I really didn't expect Conquest to be like right back in episode 1 of season 4, to be honest. I thought they're going to drag that out a
Same.
little bit, make it a little bit more interesting on him escaping or getting out, not just, all right, he just flies out and he's gone.
Hmm.
So I don't
I
know.
felt the same way.
Excited to see where they take it.
The
I just think they could have done more with it.
I agree. He was like, because that's where part of the time gap thing, and I don't know how Viltrumites heal, but I feel like he was fully healed, and he was on the road, so I don't know how much time passed. And I just I want to explain why did Cecil keep him alive? Like, what was the logic?
It,
Uh,
exactly. That does
the
it
guy gonna
doesn't make
break
any
out? You have
sense.
a rinky-dink prison? Yeah.
Yeah. He could do anything he wants pretty much and you're going to keep him alive. And that is you make a really fair point of going into season 4 episode 1 is like you have no idea how long it's been. They don't really say like
Hmm.
they kind of hint at stuff, but they never really go out and say it. I kind of wish they gave you like a clear timeline of like 6 months later, a year later. Especially when you look at Oliver,
100%.
you're like how much time has passed.
Yeah, and obviously he grows faster, but he
Yeah.
went from like kid to young adult.
Yeah, and can change colors.
Yeah, yeah, that because I was like, is that makeup or did he just like mature?
Yeah, because and I thought at first I thought it was makeup too, and then I thought like, oh, they'd probably explain it. But I guess it's just left up to
Mhm.
interpretation that more of his Viltrumite side is coming out the older he gets, I guess. Unless they're gonna explain it later
Yeah,
on.
no, that makes sense. But episode one, got you in. Post credit was great. There's some repeat stuff, but then it goes right into episode two,
Mm-hmm.
and two I loved. I Alan in Omni Man's just dynamic. I find super interesting. The whole storyline, just finding all the weapons, super interesting. But starting with that first scene, that flashback, that was at first. This is what the X-ray did screw me. Uh, that first scene when he's with the kids, I hit the X-ray. Whose voice is this? And it said young Nolan. And I was like, oh,
Oh
so this is a
no
flashback
way.
because I didn't know at first. Yeah, but that whole disease thing was that was great. I just like seeing their home planet
Yeah,
while it was fully functional.
because obviously they talk about it. I think there was some flashbacks. I don't know if it was season one or one of the earlier seasons had like bits and pieces of what it looked like. And that was one thing that confused me going into it, not knowing it was a flashback, was like seeing
Mm.
all of them. And I'm like, from what I remember, they only said there's like 50 of them left. So then I put it together. It's
Yeah,
a flashback at that point. But no, I think they did a really cool job, like a great job of like showing why they are so like prideful and strong and don't care about each other just with their, obviously after watching that upbringing, it makes a lot of sense.
yeah, yeah, 100%. The I love the random thing about Viltrumites and mustaches. Like I just find that very
Yeah.
unique, but I do really like it. Seeing his parents, that was great. One thing I was confused about a little bit with the sickness, because I felt like at the end it was they kind of like just referred to it was kind of like COVID, where if you got it, you were good. But I'm like, why didn't everybody die? Why did some people
Yeah,
survive it? I was curious on that.
that's true. They really didn't explain it. It just kind of shows like Nolan was he getting worked on? I can't remember. I know somebody was getting like open heart
Yeah,
surgery.
he was sick. I don't know if he was getting surgery, but I know he was in the hospital. I remember that.
Yeah. And I think it's cool cuz now I'm just thinking about it. Like I feel like Omni-Man or Nolan gets like that soft side from his dad after watching season 2 cuz you can kind of see that his dad
100%.
did have a heart and like wasn't as cruel as a lot of the other Viltrumites. And I feel like that.
I thought that you're right. It's a great scene.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And I just loved like uh I was looking at some stuff today of just Easter eggs in season 4 1 through 3, maybe stuff that you missed, and it was cool. They showed a picture of the comic book and it's exactly from it, just animated in the show of like the Viltrumites all dead around the planet and making like a ring around it. I thought that was just a really cool
Mm,
shot and just a cool way to show
that
how many
was,
of them actually died and getting thrown out. And then Nolan sitting there watching them throw out his dad obviously was a tough one
yeah,
for him.
yeah. And that really adds to kind of like the overview of episode two, the the dilemma Nolan's in. Uh, it is a super interesting just storyline where yes, they're obviously bad, but those are your people. Like that's
Yeah.
your family. Like even though they're miserable, is your people. So I find his dilemma very interesting. I'm really excited to see where they go with that. So then it cuts to the present, and
Mm-hmm.
you got Nolan and Alan. They're going through the universe trying to get all the devices to kill. And I found each one super interesting. The only one that confused me a little bit was the crazy like monsters that unfroze from the ice.
Yeah.
Because my thought was, oh, if they got them on the ship, like how are they gonna get them to help?
Yeah, exactly. How do you tame them or get them to work with
Yeah,
you? Yeah, that was kind of a flawed
100%.
thought process going in there. Unless they were just, I think
Hmm.
they were obviously going to try to keep them frozen. I don't know how they were going to do it, but I don't know what they would have done even when it is time for them to fight. Just kind of
Yeah,
drop him in a pit and
but
hope he does his thing.
yeah, and adding, I like how like the guy with the gun, he is kind of just joining the group, that
Hmm.
type of thing. I really like. You could see where everything is coming together, which I'm. That's where other stuff is going on. I'm just so less interested because I'm like really interested in that storyline. I can't.
Yeah,
I just want to see that one advance.
for sure. Season 2 did, or not season 2, episode 2 did a great job of like actually pushing the storyline further.
Hmm.
I think it definitely did the best job out of the 3 episodes that we got to watch today.
Yeah. One of the it actually at first the giggle, but then it had me actually laughing. The sex joke where he was sleeping on the couch outside the room.
Oh
It just
yeah.
kept cutting to that. That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, every time they get back into the ship it would go straight to that. And them like kind of being like a parody of Star Trek when they first get onto
Okay,
the ship.
I thought the same thing. I was like, am I overthinking that, or this just feels like Star Trek?
Yeah, no, I've never watched it, but then I Googled
Neither have
Star
I.
Trek and then I was like, okay, no, it was like joking around of like being like a spin-off of Star Trek essentially with the bald captain. I can't think. So many people are probably going to be upset that we don't know
Oh,
his
100%. What's
his
his
name.
name?
Uh I want to say something, but it's going to be completely wrong. I'm just going to skip it. But
Okay.
it is like exactly like Star Trek how they were doing that. And the captain
I
was really
thought
pissing me
Miami
off.
thought he was. Is it Captain Kirk or is that
I think
wrong?
it is Kirk. I was going to say Kirk, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Um, the when it was like, yeah, there's other beds in the ship. That was
Yeah.
actually pretty funny. It is Captain Kirk, just want to make sure. So then after that, the the whole storyline with the former Viltrumite and him being the the betrayer.
Hmm.
My alerts are on with the mole in the group. Do you have a
Me,
sense? Do you have any thoughts on who do you think the mole is?
yeah, I thought for some reason back in the earlier season that they showed um the guy that's the Viltrum. I can't think of his name, the one that we were just talking
You might
about.
be right.
I think it's
Oh, yeah.
I think I wrote it the Adius or something like that. I think that's his name who we're talking about, the one that's like Alan's leader or whatever, the leader of the that group. I can't think of what they're called right now for some reason. But
Do you know who voices him?
I don't actually.
The voice just sounded so familiar, so I saw it. It's the guy who voices Optimus Prime in
Really?
Transformers. Yeah,
No
like next
way.
time you hear him talk, you'll be able to pick it up.
That's funny. Yeah, I actually have to pay attention to that. I think he's the mole though, would be my guess. Because I feel like they haven't really
That's my thoughts too.
showed too many other people in that planet besides obviously Alan, his wife, and this guy. And it just makes the most sense for this guy to be the mole.
Yeah, his name is Thaddeus. You're right on that. The that's what I'm thinking too. But then in the episode, now I'm not, at the end. I wasn't sure when he said he was the betrayer, and he has this virus now. I'm like, is he the mole?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so tricky because I don't know if anybody else even knows that he has this virus that he can kill the Viltrumites with. So that's what makes
Yeah,
me more skeptical. It's probably not him now, but if you told me like by season three, I would have for sure thought it was him.
100%. But now it's got me thinking. Like realistically, so far this season, they've really only focused on four characters from that storyline,
Hmm.
and the only one that is a possibility is Alan's girl.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the case, but that's like the only other potential option.
that's that's where I'm kind of confused because they really haven't showed too many other people from like that group. It's really just been
Hmm.
Alan, his girl, and Thaddeus. So that's why I'm leaning way towards Thaddeus, obviously, and he was Viltrumite. But now that we know that he's the reason that essentially, or yeah, that he's the reason that they all died, makes it conflicting,
Yeah.
especially with now Omni Man figuring that out. I think that's going to lead to a crazy
Hmm.
conflict down the road.
100%. That again, that storyline, I can't wait to see where that goes. I'm excited for Nolan and Mark to reconnect.
Me
That's what
too.
I'm looking forward to a lot.
Do you think that comes
And
next episode?
I think it should.
Yeah.
Do I think it actually does? I thought they were going to end episode 3 with him coming back. That was going to be the end. But I think next episode, I get watch this prediction.
Uh huh.
Cliffhanger of the end of episode 4 is Nolan showing up.
Yeah, that probably makes sense because at that point you're already
Yeah.
halfway through the season, so it's a
Hmm.
good point for them to connect because now you have 4 episodes to play with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that probably is true. What do you think? I'm excited to see this person come back. Dark Blood. Do you think he's gonna play a
Yes.
role in this season? Because they like hinted at something at the
I
end of season 3, like in the post credit. What do you think his role in this season will be moving forward?
I think he's gonna be one of the weak things. Uh, I don't see it as something bigger. I have no idea. He could be a massive character. I just think because I remember at the end of season 3 they teased the aliens again,
Uh huh.
the figures, and then I'm pretty sure they teased that like the dragon guy was alive, and they kind of came back and did a little
Yeah.
thing. But I don't know. I hope he has a bigger role because I found his character interesting.
Yeah,
But do you
me.
think he has something bigger?
I have no idea. I just would love to see him come back. I just really liked his character. He didn't really do too much,
Hmm.
obviously, in these seasons. I just like how mysterious he kind of is, and he's very under the radar. So to have him come back like in a in an episode down the road, I think would be cool. Because obviously he's gonna have
I
really feel some type of way against Nolan or Omni Man.
mhm, I agree. I was trying to look who voiced him. It was Bruce Campbell. Uh, I know him
He
from
does have a
Evil
good
Dead
voice.
back in the day. He did the so that was episode 2, and then do you know about the actually did they do that at the end of episode 2, episode 3, where they revealed Thrag, the leader of the Viltrumites,
I think they did it
the
at
guy in the red?
yeah, I think they did it at 2, right? Yeah, they did it at
Yeah, I
2
think I have
because
it written down.
episode 3 is something the Eve stuff.
Oh, yep, yep, you're right. So that's the only thing I knew spoiler wise going in is that he's the big bad.
Uh-huh.
Because I know a lot of people were talking about who they're gonna get to cast for his voice. I wasn't too familiar with the guy that casts, but I guess he's good. So I guess everybody says he puts Omni-Man to shame with like just being a savage. So I'm
Damn.
very, very excited to see where that character goes.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting to see this season. I hope that they bring him in more instead of just being like this
Hmm.
figure in the ship and just like slightly teasing him. I hope he has a huge impact this season.
I agree. And then going on to episode 3, um, again, we talked about a little the repeat aliens. I was like, again, I feel like I've sat on the same couch, watched the same episode
Yeah.
really years ago. So you felt the same way. With that, what do you think Titan or Robot saw when he was in their universe? Like he looked over and it looked like a city. I couldn't really fully
Uh
tell what he saw that like scared him.
I can't think. I don't know if it was just like how much military and tanks and other stuff that they had. I feel like I can't remember exactly what he said. I want to say there was like a whole bunch of tanks and soldiers, but nothing that they haven't fought already, I thought.
For me, I felt like it was in the background. There was like a big city. I don't know why. Could be completely off on this. My immediate thought is like, are they with the Viltrumites now? Like, have they Viltrumites conquered them? They're helping the Viltrumites, something like that, and
I
that's
didn't
why
even
they're
see that.
taking. Yeah, I saw like a big city. It kind of reminded me of the Viltrumite city. And then this is me putting it together now. They're
Uh-huh.
taking prisoners because we found out that they're trying to breed with humans. So maybe
Shit,
that's something. But
that's fucking good. That's why we love you, Ant. I would have never fucking put that together.
it could be completely off. It could be, to your point, it could just be they saw
I
tanks.
I
It's
actually
like,
just I guess I feel like an idiot. Like I just looked at it at such like a face value. I feel like the way you just like
yeah,
extrapolated that whole scene, I'm like, oh my god, that makes a lot of sense. Because they're
yeah.
definitely gonna
When
see
I
a
was
lot
just
more
thinking
of
it
it.
out,
That's crazy.
yeah.
You kind of
And
blew my
then,
mind with
because
that.
obviously, yeah, I hope that's right. That'd be
That'd be
good. We can
sick.
come back to this moment. Um, and then obviously Robot and Beast Girl are stuck there. So I'm curious. Line in the show, like I love Cecil. Where they're like, "What? Let's just portal over there." And he's like, "You haven't thought we've been trying to do that since the first time?"
Yeah, exactly.
that type of thing. The only thing I thought like Omni-Man literally blew up the entire planet last time. Uh, but they seem to
Yeah,
when he went back.
that is true. I don't remember exactly what happened with that. And something, I don't know,
Yeah.
it was just like a little, it's nothing important, just something I picked up on. Where Monster Girl was like sliding down the building in that fight, and it reminded me of Avengers 1 Hulk. Like he just like jumps under the
Mm,
skyscraper and is like sliding down it and then like leaps off of it.
yeah.
It just looked very like Avengers 1 Hulk. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things doing in the show is just finding the references because there's so many,
Yeah.
whether it comes to characters or just like scenes like that.
And the Spider-Man one was hilarious. I don't remember if it was in season 2 or season 3
It
where it
was,
was
yeah.
like Ock and I forget what they called Spider-Man, Agent Spider or something like that. And there was
Yeah.
like
I'm trying to remember. Was there an elephant like instead of rhino?
yeah, there was. No, there was. Yeah. I remember seeing that
Okay,
and I'm
yeah.
like, that's exactly like the rhino, just an elephant. Yeah, there
Yeah.
was. I think he was in
Because
season
I think
one.
in this one, yeah, there was like a praying mantis, and I'm like, is that a plant? It was like he was super minor. He was part of like the Robot Faces crew,
Yeah,
but I'm like, is that like Scorpion? Is that like their
true.
version of Scorpion or something like that?
And what was it? There was one oh I actually really like the I wish the magnet dude stayed around a little bit longer. He was like just a cool character, I feel like. Even though he was like he ended up dying pretty quickly, but just like his
Hmm.
premises and he kind of looked like Shredder from Ninja Turtles. I don't know if that's what
That's
he made me
exactly
think.
where my mind went. Yeah, I'm
That's
like, is this
that's
Shredder?
exactly
I'm
what it made
glad.
me think of.
Definitely what they were going for then. If me and you both just randomly thought that, but I felt the same way.
Because I feel like he could have had like they brought back so many of these like not great villains. It'd be cool to see him
Mhm.
in another episode, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
I agree because this scene was sick when he was just killing that crew, and I thought for sure I thought he was gonna get the family,
Me too.
and that was gonna be a turning point. So, because Titan, I actually really love his character.
Me too.
Every time I find him super intriguing. I love his premise. He's kind of like a Tony Soprano, like small boss
Yeah.
in a this whole thing. I'll be honest, I don't really care for the dragon or robot face and the council and
No.
all that. We'll see where that goes. But I do love Titan.
Because I feel like that like when they go into that those scenes or whatever, it feels like more like Daredevil esque for some reason.
It does. It
Like
does.
where there's just like these bosses and gangs and stuff like that, and they're not like a huge part of the story. At least yet, they haven't been like anything too crazy with the storyline
Mhm.
that I can remember. But I don't know. It makes me think of
Because it's
Daredevil.
interesting. Yeah, they have like the street level villains with
Hmm.
these guys. It's like Daredevil, and then they have the Avengers level villains with like whatever the Guardians deal with, and then they have the Galaxy
Yeah.
villains. That's like the overarching. So the hard part though is when you get to the Galactal War, caring about the street battles or like the other stuff. But Titan's a good character for that because I do find him intriguing.
Oh, and did you notice at the end of season 3 when Mark was like beating him and he was saying like the same thing that Titan said to the Magnet dude of like don't ever
I
mess with
didn't.
my family, and he's like it's almost like the
Uh,
same scene just roles reversed.
yeah, that makes it
And
makes
I
a lot of
thought that was
sense.
like cool how they tied it in because obviously he was messing with Oliver, and then the
Hmm.
Magnet dude was trying to kill his wife and daughter, and then it was like the same thing where they're just on
Yeah,
top of each other, just pounding his face. I thought that was
that
cool.
is, that is a great scene. And then so then the episode just ended with the big thing
Yeah,
of Eve pregnant. Did you pick up on that at all?
yeah. Wait, what do you mean?
Did you like guess? Did you have a thought that she could potentially be pregnant?
No, I actually didn't. I don't know. I didn't know what
Mm,
was going on exactly. I just figured it was from when she did the huge thing and had to revive herself against conquest, that maybe it drained out like all of her powers or energy or something like that. So I wasn't sure if I didn't think pregnant at all actually. Did you have a inkling to that?
A little bit. I remember I saw something on Twitter at the end of season three. Someone said like, "Wait till you see what this means." Like I didn't, they didn't spoil it, but it was just something like because it was at
Uh-huh.
the end of season three when they were on the bed. It had like the goop or whatever on the floor that was like multicolored, and
Yeah.
someone was like, "Wait till you find out what this is." So then that may have changed my point of view whenever like stuff going on. I'm like, "Is this girl pregnant?" Uh,
That's
but
true. That makes sense then.
that that changes the whole dynamic. I feel like it's gonna play a factor of stressing Mark out over the next couple seasons, and maybe the kid plays a big role at the end. I have no idea, but poor
Yeah.
Mark just can't catch a break.
No, not at all. He could literally everything's not going his way.
No.
He's What do you think his reaction is going to be when he finds out?
I think he's gonna. That's a great question. I think he's gonna be very stressed. I
Oh,
think that's gonna be his
100%.
action.
Because I couldn't imagine having a kid at
Yeah,
20, let alone all these responsibilities that Mark currently has, and try to protect
yeah.
everyone that he loves.
I know that the poor guy.
No, poor
When
guy
I
for
do
real.
watch him, I'm like, when he got home and couldn't eat his dinner, I was
Yeah,
like, this poor guy.
for real. And I love that he has that like chip on his shoulder of like, I gotta make things right because of he feels it's his fault that all this stuff happened. And it's like very relatable
Mhm.
because I feel like a lot of superhero stuff doesn't really go in depth on how they feel about the like the casualties and stuff like that or killing somebody.
100%.
And I think Mark's
He,
arc
the
with
only
that is
one I
really
feel
good.
that is like Spider-Man. Mark reminds me of Spider-Man a lot, and I think it's
Yeah.
like the younger adult thing where, and you see him trying to balance his regular life. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, no. I think just seeing his like development of obviously him being like knowing he needs to kill people now if it's like
Mhm.
they've been that bad, like he came to terms with okay, I'm going to do it, but him still feeling some type of way and getting this backlash from people if he does it. It's just like going through that
Yeah,
and battling that's pretty cool.
yeah. I'm I'm actually excited to get to the top five at soon because I'm curious. I want to know where your rankings are for certain people.
Yeah, I'm
But
curious what you're thinking on that.
wrapping, yeah, wrapping up. Any other overall thoughts on first three episodes?
Oh, not really. I feel like we covered a lot. I think like you said, episode 2 is my favorite out of the 3. Just excited to see where they go with it and hopefully tie more into the huge story than like these little skirmishes and stuff like that. And I was surprised to
Yeah.
see those alien things like the mind ones come back so early because I know obviously they teased it at the end of season 3. I just didn't think it was going to be
Yeah.
like episode 1 and it was going to be
Mhm.
over by episode 1.
Well,
I
it's not
thought that
even
was
over because
true actually.
like at they're still those things are just never going to go away. They have to have a bigger meaning at the end because I'm sick of them.
Yeah, they
I'm
don't
good.
die, they always come back. You know, you're 100% right.
Yeah, and they don't do any actual damage. They just take people over and then they heal them after,
Yeah. And then
or
they're
they
fine.
take them off. Yeah, but that is our recap of season four spoiler review.
Yes, sir.
The To your point, I'm just excited to see where it goes. Dropping three episodes is also an interesting. That's almost half the season right away.
That's true.
Um, the but I'm excited to. I love when I'm watching a show week to week. Just
Yeah.
can't wait for next Wednesday.
It's going to be weird for me watching it week to week now after the way I've watched
Oh
it
yeah, first time
so
ever.
fast. So it's weird sitting on these cliffhangers because normally it was like, all right, just play the next
Mm,
episode and keep this going. So now actually
yeah,
getting stuck on these cliffhangers is going to be tough.
I think season one and season two had like a 2 year gap. And I remember I almost gave up. I didn't start season two came out fully before I watched it. Uh,
Yeah, no, I don't blame you
but
because
then
that's tough to sit there and wait that
yeah,
long.
they've been better since. So let's get into our top five invincible characters. We'll go back and forth. I'll
Yep.
let you go first. You'll give your number five. I'll give my number five. Any mentions as well. Get those to start, and we'll just go back and forth and see what our top five is. I'm very curious. I feel like we're gonna have at least three to four of the same, maybe three, and
Yeah.
just. But I'm curious where you have them ranked.
I don't think you're gonna like my number five, but
Okay.
I'm trying to think. An honorable mention I feel like is Rex. I just like
Okay.
his character and like the way he went out. I think was cool. Um,
He did. I didn't like his character at first, but he grew on me.
yeah, me either. I think season three was what really made me like him because it actually shows like why he was such a douchebag. I feel like.
Yeah.
But my number five is gonna be Omni Man.
Interesting. Interesting. Just gotta write that down. Omni Man's your number five. Okay.
He's growing on me more, but
For
he's five.
okay. We'll get into thoughts after we give them all. Honorable mentions for me. I have four. Titan. I really like him. Donald. I grew to love Donald.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Um, he hasn't been the next two they haven't been in it like enough, but every time they've been on screen, I loved it. Conquest, I loved, and Battle Beast. Very interested to see
Yeah,
him again.
so it's funny. That's actually now if I think about it more, my honorable mentions would definitely be Battle Beast for sure and Titan in mine as well. I think those are two really good
Hmm.
characters. You said Battle Beast we haven't seen a ton of, but whenever he's been on screen,
Yeah,
he's been like a complete badass. Just a really cool character. And I hope they do more with
100%.
Titan like they have been.
Hmm. So my number five is Adam Eve. Um, I actually I'll be like being fully transparent. I don't find myself relating that much with many female characters, but every time she's on screen, I'm super intrigued. Her power
Yeah.
is very interesting. Um, I love her dynamic with Mark, and I think she always like feels. I always feel like she says the right thing. Uh, her parents' dynamic's super weird but interesting. But
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where she goes. I never watched the Adam Eve show either,
Yeah,
but
me either.
I
I saw
watched
that was a
like
thing.
yeah, there was a summary of it where she can only change like her body if it's like a life or death situation. So that explains why the end of season three that happened.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that makes sense then. No, I think that's a great number five.
So you're number four.
So my number four is Adam Eve. I think, like you said, you
Okay.
touched on all the points. I think she's like super important to the story in Mark's life because I don't think Mark would be anywhere near where he's at now without her. And I think, like you said,
Hmm.
her powers are just really cool. And then obviously her showing her true power and how powerful she is at the end of season three made it like a game
Hmm.
changer for me. And that's why she's up there. I just think her dynamic with Mark is really good in the show.
Yeah. She reminds me of like Jean Grey, the
Yeah,
powers from like X-Men. That's what I get.
100%. Where are you at for number four?
S Number four, I am Alan, character that hasn't been in too much, but I remember that was like one where I heard the voice. I'm like, is that Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. But I really like his character. His storyline in season three, it was either two or three, where he got like big and strong,
Uh huh.
and the scenes with him in Omni-Man in the prison, that I really like his character. I like the dynamic, and then so far in season 4, he's just banging away and
Yeah.
being a badass. So he my number makes me laugh too. I have Alan at 4. So you're number 3.
Ooh, I'm curious what you think of this one. I got Cecil for number 3.
Cecil.
I'm a huge fan of Cecil. I think he like, especially when they showed more of his backstory in season 3, I think it was, or maybe 2, where they went into
Hmm.
like how he got the scar on his face and him tying into like he wanted to kill these people too, but then
Hmm.
person above him said that's not the right thing to do, the kind of how he's doing to Mark. And I just think he's always in a predicament where obviously he's trying to do what's best for the whole uh planet Earth, especially the United States, but I don't know, he's just always in a tough spot, and I think he handles it very well, especially trying to deal with these teenagers or and kids in their 20s that have this insane power and capabilities and trying to
Hmm.
maintain them. But I think he's got like a
I
greater
agree.
use for everybody than like what they see.
Hmm. I definitely agree with all that. He's super intriguing. And then I love his voice actor, Walter Goggins.
Yeah,
He's like a top 10 actor for me in Hollywood, so and I think he kills it.
100%.
My number 3 is Mark. Um,
Okay.
I'll be honest, I made this list before season 4. I made it to prep.
Uh-huh.
Mark season 4 has been incredible. He might move up because I really like the dynamic he's in right now with the killing versus not killing. But he's obviously the main character. Stephen Young, I think is how you say it,
Yep.
pulls it as the voice actor. There's times where he's 3 on my list because times where I feel like he's whiny and stuff, but that's just kind of like normal for his character.
Yeah.
Um, and a point you made earlier, he just always gets beat up,
Yeah,
but he does have heart.
for
He does
sure.
have heart. He always gets beat up, and I have Mark Henry.
I like it. I was actually going to think you were going to be higher on him than 3.
Mm,
So my number 2, I'm going to go, it's going to Alan. Especially
gotcha.
after episode 2, I feel like they've just done a lot more with his character because he was always
Mm,
obviously like a little bit more goofy in the Seth Rogen kind of, you just think of Goofy hearing Seth Rogen and seeing this character,
yeah.
but like just as it's going on, and I really like when he was breaking out Omni Man and like really trying to get to him and like pull on his heartstrings a little bit, just that dynamic. And especially as we got to see it grow in season 4 episode 2, he's becoming like more of a standout character for me in the show.
Mm. I'm hoping that storyline progresses. He becomes more of a main character.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because I want to see his dynamic with if it's Alan, Mark, and Omni Man. I think that's I'll be so locked in. I can't just I
Yeah,
think they'll have a great group dynamic.
that would be insane.
I think I think we had the same top 5 different order. My number 2 is Cecil.
Okay.
Uh, I love Cecil. To your point, the whole backstory that like really intrigued me. I love seeing his perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and he was someone who went to prison and was reformed and made it out. So I also like he's human, but like also the most badass character in the
Yeah.
show. And all like the different technology. I just love how savage he is. Like when he's talking to Donald, told him he was a robot, or like in season 4 when the group was joining back to be the Guardians, they were like, you have a plan uh, to take down everybody, and you know he does.
Oh, for sure.
Every time I feel confident that Cecil he maybe doesn't always do the right thing, but he always has
Right
the best
intentions.
interest in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Of like the humanity. So every time he's on screen, like I said, the voice actor I absolutely love. Cecil's my number two.
Yeah, no, that's I'm fine with that. I love that because I was like, Cecil, I could probably interchange him with three or number two or three, but I was like, it's safe,
Mhm.
especially after I made it after watching episodes 1 through 3, so that's where Alan snuck up a little bit more because you got to see some Cecil, but it
Makes
wasn't
sense.
like he was playing a huge role. And obviously, at the
Yeah, he was
beginning
more in
of
the background.
season or episode 1 of season 4, it kind of pissed me off with Cecil when Conquest just flew away, and that was that after he said he's gonna blow up if he moves an inch.
Yeah, I
No, I think
agree.
Cecil's a great character.
And number one.
This one's an obvious one. I'm gonna go with Mark Invincible. I just think,
Mhm.
especially now, makes me even a bigger fan of just like these conflicts he's going through. And I think like my
Mhm.
favorite part of, for sure, episode 1 of this season was when like you see Bulletproof flying in with the thing to uh knock off the alien off the main guy's head, and Mark's just like sitting there knowing he could kill him, and then he just pulls the trigger and does it because they're about to break out of the dome. I think that was like
Mhm.
a really cool part to see him like know he's got to make a or like he's got to make a really tough decision. It's going to be bad either which way, so which is the best of the bad, I guess. So I thought that was really
Yeah.
cool. I just like where his character has gone, and obviously all this traumatic stuff. So it's just really cool to see him develop.
Yeah, I found that part. I'm glad he made that choice because I thought he was going to pull back,
Uh huh.
and I think it was the right call. So, like I said, he he's been my second favorite character of season four so far. So I think he's going to keep growing. I really like the character arc he's on now.
Absolutely. I'm curious. I think I know
And
who your
then,
number one is.
yeah, my number one is man Nolan. For me, the reason he's my number one is every time he's on screen, I am locked in. I find him to be the most intriguing, complex character. Like for season two is the weakest for me by far
Uh huh.
because he was barely in it, and I think it got great once he showed back up.
Yeah.
And his whole dynamic, you see his moral dilemma of at the beginning him falling in love, having kids, but he's got a mission, and then he became broken. That scene where one of the best scene in the show is end of season one when he's beating up Mark and he's like, "You're gonna be alive for 5,000 years. All these people are gonna be dead. What do you have?"
Yeah.
And Mark just goes, "You, Dad." And that's just like incredible. And then he leaves. You see him with a new family. He's uh, just evolving, and the whole prison dynamic. I just can't wait to see his whole storyline. I can't wait to see him come back to Earth. I want to. Like, that's what I'm looking forward most going forward. I want to see him come home, talk to Mark. He's already seen, but just to see that, I want to see him talk to Cecil again. That is super intriguing to me. Him talk to his wife again. I can't wait for all that. That's why I have Nolan is my number one. I have a fear that he's gonna die. I feel like he has to. He's gonna sacrifice himself. But if he does, that's the best way to set her out.
Oh, 100%. No, now that you explain all that, I feel like I should be a lot higher on Omni-Man. He should probably at least be above Eve for sure after thinking this through, because you're right. He's so much more complex than like a lot of these characters, and has like all these internal things that you can just tell is bothering him, with his dad to now he said it, he's missing Debbie, his wife, or his old wife,
Hmm.
and now he's got 2 kids. So you can just tell that
Yeah.
there's all this internal conflict, and he wants to do the right thing, but he's trying, I feel like he's trying to figure out who's the right people to do the right thing for.
Yeah. I agree. The Like I said, I made this before season four, but I think his arc, the parents dynamic really added a lot to his character.
For
So
sure.
that is for intriguing and to see it more going forward. But to
Oh,
recap my top five from 5 to 1, Adam Eve, Alan, Mark, Cecil, and Omni Man. That is my top five, 5 to 1.
love it. Yeah, it's exactly mine, just different order. So we're right
Mm-hmm.
on the same page. My number five, Omni Man. Number four, Eve. Number three, Cecil. Number two, Alan. And number one, Mark, aka Invincible. That's my top five.
Love it.
Oh, one other honorable mention I just thought of is Debbie. I think she's an outstanding character too.
Debbie is a very good character. She kills it. I also want to mention Omni Man, J.K. Simmons, the voice actor.
Uh huh.
I think absolutely murders
Oh, he does for sure.
his role in that.
He
Yeah.
crushes it. No, he did
But
a great job.
that is our first episode of Screen Syndicates.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for all joining. Like I said, it's just me and Pate talking. If anybody is watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any thoughts, leave them in the comments below. You'll see some clips. Follow us on all our social medias. We're on everything at Screen Syndicates.
Thank you
Um,
guys for tuning in. And appreciate you. It was great talking to you, catching up. I wanted to pick your brain on this for so long. Glad we actually got to sat down and do it. And we'll be dropping
Absolutely.
at least once a week. We're not exactly sure on the
Mhm.
date yet, but you can expect to see one episode a week moving forward from us.
Future plans, we plan on recapping Invincible. The other big one that's starting soon is The Boys. We're gonna get
Yep.
into that. And then any big movie drops, expect a social clip coming soon of our trailer reaction to Spider-Man, the new trailer.
Excited for that.
And tomorrow I'm going to see Project Hail Mary. I'll probably have some thoughts on that next week. But I think that was a great first episode. Glad to do that with you, Pate.
Yeah, likewise. That was a lot of fun.